The Horten Ho-229, known by various names, represents one of the most innovative and enigmatic aircraft designs of the Second World War. Originally called the Hi-9 by its inventors, the German brothers Reimar and Walter Horten, it was officially designated Ho-229 by the Reichsluftfahrtministerium, the German Air Ministry. It was also sometimes referred to as the Gotha Go 229, named after Gothauer Wagenfabrik, the German company responsible for its later production. Over the years, it has been described as Hitler's stealth fighter, a nickname that stems from its unusual radar-deflecting design, though its stealth capabilities may have been more a fortunate coincidence than an intentional feature. According to aviation historian William Green, author of Warplanes of the Third Reich, the Horten Ho-229 was the world's first jet-powered flying wing, a concept decades ahead of its time. It incorporated aerodynamic and structural innovations that would later be seen in modern stealth aircraft. The project was directly connected to Hermann Göring's ambitious 3x1000 requirement, which called for a combat aircraft capable of carrying a 1,000-kilogram bomb load, flying at 1,000 kilometers per hour, over a range of 1,000 kilometers. This challenge inspired the Horten brothers, who had already gained experience designing lightweight, aerodynamically efficient gliders during the 1930s. They believed that a flying wing structure, with its minimal drag and absence of a conventional fuselage and tail, could meet Göring's demands. To achieve this, the Hortens designed the aircraft using advanced materials for the period. The wings were built from 2 layers of plywood bonded together with a special mixture of sawdust, charcoal, and glue, which they believed could also absorb radar waves. In 1943, Göring was impressed enough by their preliminary designs to grant them 500,000 Reichsmarks to complete and test prototypes. In March 1944, the Horten brothers successfully flew an unpowered glider version of the aircraft, designated Hi-9V1. Its sleek, futuristic appearance was unlike anything else in the skies of World War II, and remarkably bore a striking resemblance to the American B-2 stealth bomber developed nearly half a century later. Encouraged by these results, Göring transferred the project to Gotha Wagenfabrik for mass production and further development. Under Gotha's supervision, the second prototype, the Hi-9V2, was fitted with 2 Junkers Jumo 004B turbojet engines, each delivering 8.83 kilonewtons of thrust. The V2 made its maiden flight on February 2, 1945, demonstrating both high speed and excellent maneuverability. However, during one test flight, the aircraft crashed due to engine failure, killing the test pilot. Despite the setback, development continued on the next prototype, the Hi-9V3, which was still under construction when U.S. forces captured the Gotha facility in April 1945. After the war, the surviving parts of the Horten Ho-229V3 were transported to the United States for study and are now preserved at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum's Paul E. Garber facility in Maryland. Decades later, in 2008, Northrop Grumman engineers reconstructed a full-scale Horten Ho-229V3 replica, using only materials available in Germany in 1945. Their goal was to test whether the aircraft could indeed have possessed radar-evading characteristics. Using radar frequencies similar to those employed by British defense systems during World War II, they discovered that the Horten Ho-229's design reduced radar detection range by approximately 20% compared to conventional fighters of its era. According to Northrop Grumman stealth specialist Tom Dahlbrands, this meant that British radar operators would have had just 8 minutes to respond to an approaching Ho-229, less than half the usual reaction time. Though later studies suggested the stealth effect was likely accidental, Reimar Horten himself claimed in a 1950 article for the Argentine aviation magazine Revista Nacional de Aeronáutica that wooden aircraft could reflect radar waves poorly compared to metal ones, making them less visible. He further elaborated on this idea in his 1983 book, Nur Flügel, The History of the Horten Aircraft, 1933-1960, explaining that he had intentionally mixed charcoal dust into the wooden adhesive layers of the HO-229 to absorb electromagnetic energy. He believed this would make the aircraft more difficult to detect by Britain's early warning radar network, the Chain-Home system, which operated in the 20 to 30 MHz range. American engineers who examined the surviving HO-229 parts in the 1980s confirmed that the aircraft's multi-layered wooden nose cones, about 19 millimeters thick, indeed weakened radar signals as they passed through, suggesting the presence of conductive material. Whether intentional or coincidental, the design represented an extraordinary leap in aerodynamic and radar deflecting technology. Technically, the HO-229 was an impressive aircraft for its time. It was crewed by one pilot, measured 7.4 meters in length, had a wingspan of 16.8 meters, and stood only 1.1 meters tall in flight and 2.81 meters on the ground. It had a maximum takeoff weight of 6,876 kilograms, carried 1,700 kilograms of fuel, and was powered by two Junkers Jumo 004B turbojet engines. It could reach a maximum speed of 960 kilometers per hour, cruise comfortably at 900, and had a range of about 1,900 kilometers. The aircraft was armed with two 30mm Mk108 cannons, giving it considerable firepower. In retrospect, the Horten HO-229 was far more than just a prototype. It was a vision of the future. Its sleek flying wing design, pioneering use of composite materials, and potential stealth characteristics made it one of the most advanced aircraft of the 20th century. Though it arrived too late to influence the outcome of the war, it foreshadowed the development of modern stealth technology and left an enduring legacy in the history of aviation.